Welcome everybody. We are now ready to call to order the regular meeting of the West Valley City Council. Note for the record that Mayor Bigelow is excused tonight. All other members of the council are present. Will be assisted tonight by our assistant manager, Paul. Our first item of business will turn to Councilman Lars Norfeld for an opening session.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. As this week, a lot of things have been on my mind with Memorial Day and with the 9/11 exhibit in our Centennial Park this weekend. It's here until tomorrow night, by the way. And with our upcoming D-Day 75-year anniversary, I thought a lot about those who have sacrificed so much and given so much for all of us. And so we're going to say the pledge in just a second, and I encourage you as we do that to think on them and to think about what we can do to sacrifice to make life better for those around us. So if you'll rise with me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next on our agenda, we have our minutes of May 21st, 2019 to the council.
Move for approval of the minutes for May 21st.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? The minutes have been approved. The next item on our agenda is what I believe, well, let's see. Before we do that, I missed an item. Are there any scouts here or Cub Scouts that are here working on an advancement? Or I didn't think I saw any coming up, but are there any? Okay. Then we're not behind. We'll move on to what I think has brought most of you here, which is the Mayor's Star of Excellence Award. This is given to the top 3% of junior high school students juniors in high school, not junior high school, juniors in high school, who, based upon their ACT score and their GPA, qualify to be in the top 3%. And most of the students in our city attend Granger, Hunter, Cypress, or Taylorsville, and all of those schools are represented here tonight. And we know that maybe there are some that are missing because of school activities and other things. But what we'd like to do is this. We'd like each of you to line up and come to the podium, tell us your name and what school you attend. Then if you've not already retrieved your certificate, which I know some of you have, they're on the table out there in the hall. But we don't want you to leave then. We'd like you to all come back in so that after that last name is read, we can get a group photo of all of you, and that'll be on our social media and so forth. Now, as you may know, West Valley City broadcasts its council meetings, so that's being filmed and broadcast to all of your fans and peeps and people that couldn't be here tonight so that they can see you. This is a big payday for your parents and grandparents and people that love you. They want to see you achieve. And it's pretty exciting to be recognized academically. And I think by your city, the city where you live, we expect great things from you. Go on and create a great life for yourself and help us as a city improve the quality of our city and our way of life. We're always excited to have people, residents of West Valley City, be top achievers. You know, it was Pink Floyd who said, "We don't need no education." But you kids are smart. You know that a double negative really means we do need an education, right? So we're going to come down so that we can shake your hand as each of you announce your name. And then if the students would just start filing over here so that you can come forward and give us your name and your school. Thanks.
they wanted to.
My name is Tyler Gale from Hunter High.
I'm Kylie Neal. I'm from Hunter High.
Jeremy Blackett, Hunter High School.
I'm Jacob Penico. I go to Cypress High School. I'd like to thank all the people.
I'm Leslie Hara from G House. I'm Brenda Swaste from Hunter High School. I'm Caitlin Yule from Hunter High. I'm Alondra Castro from Taylorsville High School. I'm Rachel Wynn, also from Hunter High School. I'm Miranda Wilkie from Granger High School. I'm Rachel Gomez from Granger High School. I'm Megan Hammond. I'm from Granger High School.
I'm Tommy Bengal and I'm from Cypress High School.
I'm Allison Foster. I'm from Hunter High School. I'm Larry Lopez and I'm from Granger High School. I'm Melissa Bentley and I'm from Granger High School. I'm Katie Gidney from Granger High School. I'm Kinsey Hoffman from Hunter High School. I'm Elena Atkinson from Cypress High School. I'm Eve Roundy, also from Cypress High School. I'm Tim Zogin, also from Cypress High School. I'm Harley Hennessy from Granger High School. Stephanie Blotto from Cypress High School. I'm Chloe Kohler, also from Cypress High School.
That's it.
I'm Allison Jensen from Hunter High School.
Nate McKenzie, Cypress High School.
I'm Murphy Rickett, also from Cypress. Damian Lee from Cypress High School.
I'm Corinne Morris from Hunter High School. I'm Bonnie Doe from Taylorsville High School. I'm Anna Manson from Hunter High School.
I'm Sunny Nguyen from Taylorsville High School.
I'm Naomi Howell from Hunter High School. I'm Kelsey Chen from Hunter High School.
Did we get everybody? Okay, well, we'd like you to come up here, and we're going to go back up there, and we'll get a picture. Okay, we're gonna make 3 rows right in here and then spread it out that way. So let's get our polished students in the back. And you might just stay here until all of your parents get to take a picture. You guys go in between behind. Oh, you're fine. Stay right there. In between behind, so your head is in between. You got it? Kind of like picture day in elementary school. You want some of these guys on the other side? Yeah. Take them to do, yeah, around. Ready? And freeze. Now let's just do a normal one. Parents, do you want anybody else who wants to take a picture? Let's get those taken. No way, you're welcome.
Sí, ya tomé varias. Si quieres sumarle tú también.
Let's give them a big round of applause. In our city council meetings, people come and go as they're here for the things they're interested in. So just so you know, you don't have to stay for the full meeting. You're certainly welcome to. You're also welcome to come and go as you please.
So nice. So nice. No, we're free. No, we're free. You're so proud of you. That's so pretty. Love it. Good job.
Make sure you pick up your certificate. The next item on our agenda is public comment. We set aside up to 30 minutes to receive public comment and input. Tell us what's on our mind. So this is not a discussion, this is not an opportunity to make any decisions. We can't take any action without having that on our agenda in advance so that the rest of our residents have notice of that. And so the public comment period is more for you to address us. We'll listen to your comments and perhaps these will be things that we discuss later. So the first person that we have signed up for our public comment is Mr. Mike Markham. Mike, you really know how to clear a room.
What's standing room only? Okay, Mike Markham, 3008 Alice Way. I know I talked about this last week and we've talked about it before, and I guess it's become a non-issue is parking on the streets. Being somewhere along the line, the council voted that there could be 72 hours parking on the street with no license. And people figure out the system, so they just need to rotate license plates and leave different cars out on the streets all the time, never have to move them. Police don't have time to check all those license plates and see if they coordinate with the particular car. They prop them up in the back window, they don't even have to put them on the license plate holder. I got a ticket one time in Salt Lake City for having a license plate in the front windshield of my car. I thought as long as it was facing forward, you were good. And they said it can be any place but the windshield. But you know, I guess all of my discussions about parking on the streets and the problems that we're having is for naught. So I guess we get what we deserve. There was a comment made in a council meeting one time about what's good for the city. If it's not good for the city, we're not going to vote on it, we're not going to pass it. My personal feeling is keeping the streets clean is good for the city. But I guess that only applies in certain cases. We had a gentleman if you remember, wanted to extend his business hours by a couple of hours. That made a major investment, close to $1 million investment on some property here in West Valley City, and he wanted to extend his business hours by several. And he had the okay of people around him, but that wasn't good for the city. So parking on the street, loading the street with cars, is good for the city. I can't quite grasp that, but it was voted in. So we're good there. Something else I kind of like to bring up, and I don't know, I brought it up to Mr. Pyle one time. What if we thought about no at-large seats? What if everybody had their district to concentrate on? Instead of two people having to worry about the whole city, everybody could have their own district. They would have an area that they could peruse. They peruse once a month, drive through their district, see what it looks like, see what it doesn't look like, see what's happening out there. I think there needs to be some attention paid by our elected officials out to see what's going on in their districts, what's happening, what's not happening. It took me several phone calls to court enforcement to get a house cleaned up that hadn't mowed the weeds all year long. They were probably 18 inches tall. They finally went out and mowed it, cleaned it up, bagged it, put all the grass in their recycling bag. This is a house that's notorious for doing that. They have to be spurred on. It's a house that likes to leave their garbage cans out on the street all the time until I move it in front of their driveway and they have to get out in their car and move it someplace, which maybe one of these days you'll read about me getting the daylights knocked out of myself. But I'm concerned about the city. If we want a nice city and we want to attract good people, nice people, we need to work towards it being a nice city. Good people don't move to bad places. There's areas, and Karen and I was talking about it earlier, there's places no matter where you go. I was in a very high-end area of Holiday, or not Holiday, but Farmington today. And there was some nasty houses up there, and these were in million-dollar houses. Houses with no yard work, cars parked in the driveway, flat tires, and so it happens every place, but I'd like to think we're trying to be a step above every place else instead of average. Anybody can be average. Any city can be average. You know, I'd like to work towards a step above for the city. I've been in my same house on Alice Way for about 45 years. So I've seen what goes on. We don't have many houses that go up for sale and people move in and improve. We've got some houses that nobody does anything until a jerk in the neighborhood either puts a note in their mailbox or calls the city to have a talk with them. A lot of times it just takes a talk, it takes a note. Our code enforcements are driving around there all the time. I think they drive with tunnel vision. They don't look left or right when they're going down the road. We need to get out there. Thanks.
Thank you. That's all that has signed up. Is anybody else here to make public comment tonight? Okay, seeing none, we'll turn to Assistant City Manager, Mr. Isaac. Any comments tonight?
No, sir, thank you.
And to the City Council. Okay, we'll close the public comment and move on to our ordinances. We have Ordinance 19-14 with respect to the fire code. Mr. Isaac, would you introduce this, please?
Sure, thank you. About every 3 years, the revised editions of the building and fire codes come out and are adopted by the state of Utah. This resolution essentially adopts the same edition of the International Fire Code for the city.
Okay, so this is to bring us in line with what's required of us by the state and
Yes.
national standards. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, Council, we have before us Ordinance 19-14.
I would move for approval of ordinance 19-14.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I will turn to our city recorder for a vote.
Councilman Fitzie Umanu.
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang.
Yes.
Councilman Hune.
Aye.
Councilman Christensen.
Yes.
Councilman Norfelt.
Yes.
And Mayor Pro Tem Bueller.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have our resolutions. The first one being Resolution 19-54, a real estate purchase agreement for property at 4059 South, 6000 West. Mr. Isaac, anything you can enlighten us with respect to this resolution?
Well, just to say that this is a discussion we had in our strategic planning meetings, and this property was mentioned as a possible place for a new park at some point, and the property is currently owned by the Mitchell family, Robert and Shalene Mitchell, and they agreed to sell it to the city, and that's what this resolution does.
Thank you. And of course, property isn't always for sale, and this property is next to property that we're already using and across the street from other park property is. So we pretty much have this opportunity to act on it tonight or wait till perhaps another opportunity sometime down the road. To the council, Resolution 1954.
I move for approval, resolution 19-54.
Second?
We have a motion to second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll call for a vote.
Councilman Norfelt.
Yes.
Councilman Norfelt. Councilman Christensen.
Yes.
Councilman Hune.
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang.
Yes.
Councilman Fitzie Umanu.
Aye.
And Mayor Pro Tem Bueller.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Our next resolution is 19-55, the purchase of a street sweeper. These come on rotation. It seems like we purchase one street sweeper approximately every year and retire our older street sweeper, and in that way we keep 4 street sweepers in service and rotation, is that correct?
That's right.
Anything to add, Mr. Isaac?
No, sir, you did well.
Thank you. To the council, Resolution 1955.
I move for approval of Resolution 19-55.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of approving Resolution 1955, please say, or, no, we need to have a roll call vote, sorry.
Councilman Fitzie Umanu.
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang.
Yes.
Councilman Hume.
Aye.
Councilman Christensen.
Yes.
Councilman Nordfeld.
Yes.
And Mayor Pro Tem Bueller.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next, we have Resolution 1956, license for use of a right-of-way at approximately 3550 South Market Street. Mr. Isaac, could you tell us about this resolution?
Thank you. Yeah, this is also great news and a tribute to our continued building out at Fairborn Station and the office tower. This particular agreement allows the West Valley City Land Holdings entity, which is building the office tower and so forth, to put a pedestrian bridge between Market Street and to connect the Fairborn Station parking structure with the office tower.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or discussion or a motion regarding Resolution 1956?
I would move for approval of Resolution 1956.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Seeing no further discussion, we'll call for a vote.
Councilman Nordfeld.
Yes.
Councilman Christensen.
Yes.
Councilman Hume.
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang.
Yes.
Councilman Fitzie Umanu.
Aye.
And Mayor Pro Tem Bueller.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Then we have Resolution 19-57, an amendment to the parking structure management and use agreement. Mr. Isaac?
That's right, sir. This just amends the current parking structure agreement to allow us, to allow the financing of the office tower.
This was called for by the bank or the finance company, and it does not affect or limit our rights or cost us any money in any way. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Any questions, further discussion, or motion regarding Resolution 1957?
Move for approval of Resolution 19-57.
Second. We have a motion to approve. Could we call for a vote?
Councilman Fitzie Umanu.
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang.
Yes.
Councilman Hume.
Aye.
Councilman Christensen.
Yes.
Councilman Nordfeld.
Yes.
And Mayor Pro Tem Bueller.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. That brings us to a conclusion of the business on our agenda. Does anybody feel a need to call for a closed session? Then, seeing none, we conclude our business and would entertain one final motion.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That has also been voted on unanimously. We are adjourned.